Today, I am going to be explaining the plot of GTA 5. Rated 18, and it was published by Rockstar and Rockstar North. The story takes place in Los Santos, which is pretty much based off of Los Angeles. But in the opening or prologue mission of the game, you are in a different map, North Yankton, where you are playing as protagonists Michael and Trevor. Trevor is this guy, and Michael is this guy, but you can't really see his face. Michael is described as it says on the back of the box somewhere, a retired bank robber, whilst Trevor is described as a terrifying psychopath. You are trying to rob a bank, I think, and you're trying to escape with the money. At the end of it, you lose two of your heist mates. One of them was named Brad. I can't remember the other one's name or if their name was even revealed. Trevor thinks that Michael has been arrested or killed because he was shot in the leg and has never seen him since. 9 years later, Michael is seen in therapy inside of Los Santos, and after he has come out of that therapist office, he comes across the third protagonist, known as Franklin, and his brother or friend, I've forgotten his name for fuck's sake, Lamar. Lamar and Franklin are trying to steal 2 cars, but they aren't doing it just for no good reason. They work for a car dealership owner known as Simeon, and when they arrive back at the dealership, Simeon is arguing with a guy named Jimmy. Jimmy, who we find out later is Michael's son. How Michael, Trevor and Franklin met up together is this. For the first part of the game, you play as Franklin, stealing vehicles for Simeon. One of the vehicles you have to steal from inside a house, and that vehicle is Michael's son's car. And as you're driving to the dealership, a gun gets pulled onto Franklin. Michael was hiding in the back seat. Michael forces Franklin to drive into the dealership and smash the window. After that, I think Michael has a fight with Simeon. Then, that's it. You've unlocked Michael as a protagonist. Then, Michael and Franklin get into trouble with a guy named Michael Madrazo because they accidentally destroyed Michael Madrazo's girlfriend's house, or someone that is related to him somehow. Oh yeah, I forgot what Franklin is described as. He's known as a young street hustler. And Martin Madrazo is pissed, obviously. So he orders like $2.5 million from them, or a large amount of money. So Michael calls up his old bank mate named Lester, a disabled person, and he's also known as Lester the Molester. Lester comes up with a plan to rob a jewelry store. You get to choose who you take on that bank heist, but you don't. Franklin and Michael are doing the bank heist. You get to switch between them multiple times throughout the heist. And once you've gotten the money and you've escaped, a news broadcast goes around the internet, and just so happens that Trevor was watching the news exactly the same time that the broadcast about the bank heist had gone. And Trevor actually finds out that maybe Michael is still alive because of Michael's catchphrase. You forget 1,000 things every day, make sure this is one of them. Michael said that to a guard that he attacked in the heist, who was telling Franklin to move the bikes that they were using for the heist. And now that Trevor heard this, he's actually considering the fact that maybe someone has stolen his identity or Michael's still alive. So he goes, and it's a little bit confusing, because when I did this mission, the first mission with Trevor, I think what happens is you can't switch to Franklin or Michael yet after a while, because they're still in hiding. And Trevor goes around killing people, doing stuff, and killing like a lot of men, also known as the O'Neill brothers. And eventually he finds out that Michael is still alive, but he's under witness protection after that incident that happened 9 years ago. So he finds Michael, and they do a mission together where you have to save like Michael's daughter, Tracy, or just help her in some way. And that's it. All three of them have met together. Now, most of the story up to now is they go get into more problems. Trevor steals Martin Madrazo's wife. Franklin gets into trouble with a guy named Stretch. Trevor had a little bit of problems with the Triad people. And Michael gets into trouble with Devin Weston and Steve Haynes. And at the end of after a couple of more heists, one involving the Maze Banks heist, Franklin gets visited by a guy named Devin Weston. Devin Weston is pretty much the antagonist of this game. Devin comes to Franklin's house and tells him, "You've got 3 options, buddy. Kill Trevor, kill Michael, or Death Wish. Kill Trevor. If you choose to kill Trevor or Michael, the money gets split between the only other 2 protagonists, and on the downside, you can't play as the person that you just killed, because you've just killed them off from the series." And I found it really difficult to kill one of them, so I just went for the option of Death Wish. What Death Wish is, I'll explain the entire mission. First, you pick up Lamar. You play as Franklin for most of it, I think. Or you just start as him. You pick up Lamar and you go to the Foundry, where Michael and Trevor are thinking about killing each other, even though they've already got problems coming their way, as the FIB and Merryweather have been alerted of their location, and the 3 protagonists are now working together to kill Merryweather and FIB. After they've sorted all of that out at the Foundry, they start thinking about who they should kill next, or get rid of at least. They come up with 4 people they should kill. Wei Chang, which is one of the Triad people, Steve Haynes, Stretch, also known as Harold Joseph, and Devin Weston. Devin Weston is always going to be the last person you kill. The first 3, you get to choose what order you kill them in. I'll explain why everyone wants to kill them. The Triad brothers, I think they tried to get a partnership with Trevor, but the O'Neill brothers fucked it up and they got the partnership instead. And the Triad brothers, the Triad people, they must have done something else, or that might have just been the only ambition. Steve Haynes has pissed off Trevor and Michael, pretty much just because of how annoying he is, or patronising, and for the fact that I think he barely paid them for what they did. Stretch, he set up Lamar and Franklin, and by setting them up, he got them kidnapped, I think. Well, not Franklin, he got Lamar kidnapped, and all 3 of the protagonists had to go save him. And Devin Weston was hated by all 3 of the protagonists. Franklin hated him because Devin Weston was, asked him to transport 6 cars to him and wasn't paid, even though Franklin had to steal these cars to get the money. Michael was mad at them because he tried to ruin a movie that he had produced with his new boss, Richard Majestic, I think it was. And Trevor, I think he just hates him because he hates everyone, considering he's a psychopath, or I think it was because of never mind. And in the end, it doesn't matter what you use to kill these guys, as long as you kill them. Devin Weston is killed in a... Hang on. After you kill the 3 people, Harold, Triad, Harold, Way, and Steve, Trevor goes up to Devin Weston's house in the Tongva Hills, where Merryweather guards have been dispatched at his house to protect him. You have to kill all of the people, or I guess you don't, considering I saw someone in a playthrough just go right past one of the guards and just go straight to the box that Devin was hiding in. You've kidnapped Devin, and you just drive to a vantage point where all 3 of the protagonists look down at Devin inside the boot of the car. They talk to him about why he's such a dickhead. Then they plan how they're going to kill him by pushing him off the cliff. Pushing the car off the cliff. So they do it, and the car lands in the water where it explodes somehow. I don't know how that works. And that's it. The end of the game. I loved the ending of the game for Death Wish. Killing Michael, I love that guy. Trevor, I don't like him as much, but he was enjoyable at times. It's fucking difficult to kill off one of the protagonists that you spent so much time as. Even though Trevor's rampages are fucking difficult. The military one and the redneck one are the hardest ones out of the ones I've done. The Vargos, the ballers, and the hipsters are the ones that are the easiest to do for me. That's it.